and welcome to Tarot Thursday. I'm your host, Reverend Mary Hawk, and with me is Ed the Pagan. And we
And
are here to do 3 card, more or less, tarot pulls for you when you post your question in chat. And Ed, thank you so much for joining me this week. I really appreciate it.
oh, no problem. I mean, it keeps my skills a little bit sharp.
It's always good to have you with me.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah. So this has been an interesting week. So since
It
the
has
last time,
been.
yeah, yeah. One of the things I think in the world that people don't realize is that there are more tarot services now, and there's a growing number of tarot and tarot services. And you're going to see when as the economy gets threatened. I mean, it doesn't matter. We don't know if it's going to go up or down. Right now, it's kind of a down cycle. We're not predicting right now if it's going to go up or down. But what I am saying is that what we're seeing is that tarot reading is increasing. The amount of people who are entering the business, people who have been involved, people who are getting readings, the long term customers are increasing. And that always happens when the economy starts to get dicey and jobs get dicey. Anytime there's a huge element of risk, right? Anytime there's an element of risk, tarot readings go up.
Yes. And you can book a reading at divinationtv.com,
So
your destination for all things divination.
now I've seen this before. I've seen this at least 3 times in my life, about once a decade, a little more than a decade separation between them. And if you're a long term reader, I would offer your readers, the people that you're most closest to, who get regular readings, I would make them an offer to get as much money up front. In other words, pre sell them readings, even at huge discounts. That sort of thing. You should be offering, don't lower your fees. But a lot of these new readers are going to come in at $5 and $10 and $15 a reading. I've seen this before, and they fill the reading and they solve the itch for some of them. If you don't have long term clientele, if you don't have long term answers, anybody will do. Tarot is both a commodity and a luxury.
That is interesting. Well, if you have a question for us, go ahead and post it in chat or say hi and tell us how you're doing and where you're from.
Hmm.
I am a little north of Nashville.
I am in the city of the revolution, the iron tire of Donald Trump, the place where the battle lines of the republic are born, Chicago, Illinois.
Yes, stay safe.
No, I'm going to take care, but I'm not going to stay safe. We can't stay
All
safe.
right, take care.
I will take care, but I'm safe. That's another story. I'm not pretty known as a safe person.
You are not known as a safe person. Take care and make your actions make a difference. I'll say that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been pretty much staying out of it. I did the King Stage Drive. I'm mostly staying out of it because I really don't have a lot to say. I mean, I'm not a targeted audience, and yes, I can be standing there and things of that nature. But what I'm really working on is the Pagan World Hub and doing ways of getting more resources. Like we're going to do a prayer. We're going to do a day of prayer, peace work, December 5th and 6th. And it's going to be 24 hours. We decided by Rolando Comon, one of the greatest peace prayers out there, Donald Lewis. We're going to talk about peace prayer, the Corellian peace prayer, and we're going to do 24 hours of talking about peace. And it'll be broadcast through our network.
That is going to be amazing. And I did not know this, but Rolando has written a peace song.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of new things are going to be found out. So this is going to be a piece. Well, Donna wrote the original Corellian prayer,
Yeah,
and let's.
because I had asked a question if anyone had ever put the peace prayer to music, and Rolando played me a clip of a peace song he wrote.
So we're going to be playing that. Uh, I think Right Reverend Ebony is going to actually be playing the peace drum from the Prominent World Religion. So what we're going to do is we're going to put together 24 hours of real music and prayer and advice. David Moore is going to continue. People really enjoyed his piece on love. He's going to continue more on that idea of what does pagan love look like, or just love in general, because he says love is his religion, which I really love. Pagan is his practice.
Yeah, that's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. And the Pagan World Congress has gone over 400,000 total views across all of the different pieces. And that continues to show out in the world. So, yeah, if you haven't seen it, go to paganworld.co. Then you can go ahead and check it out.
Yes.
And then in January, Martin Luther King holiday, we're going to do another event called the Food Security Summit. And what it's going to talk about is how we can develop better food security within our community for us, for our neighbors, but how do we do better locally and how can we use our resources nationally? And it'll all be broadcast here. A lot of it will be. Because
So
people are
that's
nervous.
another amazing event.
We're going to hold one once a month. I mean, that's the Pagan World Hub. I mean, if you want to join us and really support us as a creator, that's one of the things you can do. We're going to do one of these events per month. So if you have an idea of what you want to do, I mean, I want to see the Witch Rising conference, but we'll have to wait until Mary's out of the woods of her day job first. But I would love to see a fiery all women Witch Rising conference.
Let's look at
But we have the platform.
March for that. Women's History Month is March.
So we do it in March.
So
one of the things we've got the platform. So if you have an idea for a conference or for one to have a meeting or if you want to have a discussion within the community, come to us at Pagan World and check it out. Mm-hmm. We have lots of opportunities for you guys to grow. And that's the important thing.
Go ahead. Didn't mean to talk over you.
It's you're the host.
So it's paganworld.co.
Mm-hmm. And yeah. And we're producing more and more tools for people.
Okay. And does anyone have a tarot question for us?
Obviously not.
Surely someone has a question out there. Or we can keep talking about upcoming events and the Pagan World Hub. It's kind of up to y'all. You're watching. I see you popping in.
Now, one of the things I think, oh, come on. Oh yeah, I'm falling apart, folks. I'm having a little bit of the, changing of the season, falling apart. I am feeling my age. I'm 62, almost 63. We'll be in February. Still plenty of time, just halfway through the game. But every once in a while, it reminds me. No, I think tarot reading. So people who are talking about tarot reading, I think you're about to see. If you're a reader, you need to come and you can join us as a creator. If you're a numerologist, I think you should come in. So I think the biggest
Love
change.
to host a numerology conference, but I need more numerologists than me.
Oh, sure.
So I'll throw that one out there. Where are my other numerologists?
So the big thing about Pagan World is it is now built on this idea of interest graphing. It's how the next internet's going to work. It's going to be based on AI. It's going to be based on all sorts of things. I'm not going to argue about what's coming. All I want to do is make sure people are ready for it. I mean, because you can argue about the ethics of all of this, but you mean so there are tarot readers coming out, and they're going to be very competitive. And we saw this 20 something years ago with tarot.com, which had automated readers.
Did Reverend Don just make a pun?
I don't know.
He said I would need a number of numerologists to have a numerology conference.
Yes, he did. He is a punster.
He is indeed.
And he is a subtle one. Well, let's talk about numerology. Let's talk about, so here's one of the things I think is going to be very interesting is I think once AI gets numerology, it's a matter of who's going to program it, whose machine, who's a numerologist, say Gregor, comes out, because now they're starting to charge to access AI, like say Mary Hawk numerologist. They're charging people for that. There's a guy out there who made $70,000 a day being a coach through his AI.
Okay. Anissa says, my uncle's birthday is on Thanksgiving. Can he get a birthday reading? All righty. A birthday reading for Anissa's uncle. And good to see you, Anissa. I predict he's going to eat a lot of food on his birthday. And also, I'm just going to say we will not have Tarot Thursday on Thanksgiving. I am hosting this year, and frankly, by 9 p.m. Central, I'm probably going to be in bed. Because after all the cooking and then cleaning up, I will be in bed. Happy, but in bed.
I gotcha. Here you go.
All right, birthday reading. So the first card I've got is the Four of Wands. And we see here a marriage. And this represents accomplishing something he's been wanting to do. We've got the Princess of Cups. So the advice of this card is don't be afraid to ask for what you need in your relationships with your family. So I think your uncle is the sort of man who doesn't talk about his emotions. So he needs to learn to express himself. And he probably comes from that generation where men were taught not to do that.
Huh.
but the advice here is that he needs to learn how to do it. And finally, we've got the Wheel of Fortune, which means the universe has a gift of good luck coming up for him. So, overall, this is a very fortunate reading for him for his birthday. So, what have you got, Ed?
Okay, so I have it out in here. You can't see it. I'm going to try and bring it up. Next time I'll have it up there. I have an automatic generator. Jason has long since created a. We used to call it the South Park deck, but we can't because of trademark reasons. It's just because it was cutouts, and it is a online reader that does generate cards for me. So we start it. Send the 3 cards. Okay. The first thing we have is the 10 of Cups.
Ooh.
So, Mary, really quick before I get into this, do you know that your page is the comments on your page are not showing up in the chat room? You've got a ton of people asking for readings over on your own personal page.
And they are not showing up in the chat room.
That's correct.
All right.
And
Well,
some of your big hitters. Okay, so let me go ahead. 10 of Cups. That means joyful and pride and energy of that. The next card is the 6 of Swords. So it means his birthday. Uh, um, it's important that it is that he takes care of his health, plan for it, and prepare for it. And then we've got, oh, that's interesting, the 3 of Coins. And then he has to start really looking at his next set of work. He needs to really, even at his age, he needs to figure out what type of work he's going to do that's going to make him feel heartfelt. Pay attention to the health, have a good time. Really, I'm not seeing much other than the fact that he needs to find better work, even within his own context. Not new job, better work. Then there's a difference in those things. So there we go.
all right. And I do see on my personal page, I've got it up on my phone here.
And thanks for Maggie because she was asking if she couldn't connect, and I saw yours, and I said, "Oh, here, just I don't care. There's a number of pages."
Okay. So Maggie has asked for a general reading. And Renee has asked for a general reading. So let's do one for Maggie. Okay, Maggie, I have got first of all the King of Wands for you, followed by the King of Pentacles. So, both of these represent being in a good position. The King of Pentacles is about your finances or the material realm. It's talking about being in a good position due to careful planning. And the King of Wands is talking about mastering your passions and working on the things you're the most passionate about. So, with both of those, I'm going to say things are going to be going well for you. Do what you feel called to do and plan carefully. And the next card I've got for you is Strength. So, I know you're feeling overwhelmed right now, but You can handle it. Okay? You have within you what you need to deal with your situation. Okay? You're going to come out on the other side of this and you're going to be okay. Even though it's very, very stressful for you where you are right now in the situation you're in. But you've got the resources you need to deal with it. So, hang in there, mi hermana. You have got this, okay? And
Um,
what have you got, Ed?
well, I know Maggie very personally. She's one of my dearest friends, and so I wouldn't want to. I agree with what you have said. I think that is the message to be that feels correct. And love. I mean, I love Maggie. I think that she needs to get more hugs from people.
Yes, I would love to give you a great big hug. I hope I can get up that way sometime soon. I don't know when it would be. And hello to Kai and Magical Mermaid. And Reverend Michael. So right now I'm going to read for Renee and then I'll read for Kai. And then Magical Mermaid's dad. So this one is going to be for Renee. Hi.
It must be the government trying to disconnect me.
Okay. Me, I always suspect there are too many kids playing games on AT&T where in my neighborhood when that happens.
That used to be the way it is when I first started doing this type of work, building websites and things like that. I mean, back in the dinosaur ages, where were using modem
Oh
because
yeah.
we'd work from like the real hardcore players, people who worked from like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning to like 3 or 4. To get a couple
Yeah.
hours of computer work 5, because those are the down hours. But once 5 o'clock hit, people started jumping on their internet. And by 7 o'clock, the internet that day was dropping things all the time.
Oh yeah. We crackle, crackle, crackle.
But yeah.
And if you're as old as Ed and I are, you remember those sounds. And if you have no idea what noise I just made, well, you never dialed in a modem.
Hmm.
Okay. So, Renee, first of all, I've got the Ace of Pentacles. Aces are the essence of the suit. So, this is about the material realm. So, that is very much on your mind. And so, you've got this energy, you can work with it, and you need to put it to good use. Next card I've got for you is the Tower. So you're looking at a time of real transformation for you. You're going to see this energy coming through for you, and there's going to be a lot of big changes in your life. And finally, I've got the Princess of Wands. And when this card comes up, you tend to do what you think other people want you to rather than doing what your heart tells you to. So don't be afraid to express yourself in the situation and be yourself, especially with that Tower card. Things are changing for you. You have anything for Renee?
Sure. Let me pull up my numbers. First of all, again, Renee's a good friend of mine. I know her on a very personal basis. She's a good ally. She's very helpful and supportive. I know a lot about her mental mind, so I don't want to expose that. So, but I did do it through my thing. I wish I could show you. Next time I do this, I'll have this to show you. Jason's worked on so many cool things, and he doesn't get credit enough for it. But what I've got, and I've never seen this quite before. So I start with the Ace of Cups. And so that's your emotional aspect. You've got to figure out ways to let your cup flow. An empty cup is a bare cup. A full cup is a full cup. But if you let a full cup set, it becomes stagnant. So even when it's full, it can be very dangerous to you. So don't let your emotions set. The second one is the Ace of Swords. As incredible as it is, we got the Ace of Swords. So it means you need to make a decision towards living your life and being an aspect of your life. Meaning you've got to start just fighting for your life. You look like you're in a life and death struggle right now, mentally. And then the third one we have is the Ace of Rods. So we have triple aces. If this was a poker game, you'd have a set. And you bet on sets. I mean, you go all in on sets if you're a poker player. And the Ace of Wands means that spirituality. Your real answer is getting to spirituality. Renee, become a tarot card reader. Okay? Start putting your shingle out there to be a tarot card reader. Start being a priestess that takes confessions, but shingle those out. Start acting in your capacity and stop acting out of your pain. That's it. Become a tarot.
All right.
Because the ace that's missing is what? Coins. Pentacles. So if you do those other things, the money is there. It's telling you that you're so concentrating on the money that you're not paying attention to your emotion, to your defense, and to your spirituality. If you want money, get money. Do tarot card readings.
And Maggie is sending us hugs.
Absolutely. Maggie, please, people really get to know Maggie. I really wish more people knew of Maggie and her work.
Maggie is so sweet.
The big thing is Maggie is not, she's computer literate, absolutely, but she doesn't use it as much as a lot of us do, as more of a natives. And not as, oh my God, I've been seeing the Z kids, which are, yay, they're making their move.
All right, Kai is next. She would like a general reading.
Are you talking about the Right Reverend Kai Aiden?
Yes.
Oh.
That I have been on the phone with the last 2 nights. My shrine, Moon Willow Temple, will be hosting the Corellian lustration of the ancestors here in Nashville, April 17th, 18th, and 19th. And Kai and I have been working on getting the website, that information up on Corellian.com.
That's good.
Yes, so we're excited.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Wow, what an interesting reading I got for you, Kai. Okay, I got the 10 of Cups. Happy family. So this means joy, happiness, love, all good things. followed by the Seven of Wands, which means you're working on something and you can get the outcome you want, but it's going to take some careful planning. So I'm going to say on the emotional end of your life, everything's great. On what you're working on, there's something you're trying to achieve. So think about what you're doing and plan it carefully. And then for the final card, it's the Fluffy. And to explain this card, when Reverend Don did the Kickstarter, you had the option to commission a card. And if you want to commission a card, you can still get in touch with Reverend Don. But my dear friend Fluffy, I'm trying to get the glare off. The wolf is missing a foot. He had to have one foot amputated, and he took what was a really bad situation, but he used it to totally transform his life. So this is all about taking a bowl of lemons and making lemonade. So there you go, Kai. Take what's going wrong in your life and turn it around and make something awesome out of it.
Okay. Well, Kai, so I'll give you an interesting fact about Caden. In the early days, when Wood School was still in Hudson, we were building the site. One of the features that was really kind of lost later was that we had a dictionary, a certified dictionary, and we crowdfunded that, and we gave away a ton of prizes. And Caden won 3 out of the 5 weeks, giving like 1,500 answers to this dictionary that we had part of Wood School. Of course, she was not the right Reverend Caden. She's worked her way up the ranks over the years, but she was a diligent student in those early days. Okay, so I pushed it out there. All right, the first thing I get is the King of Swords. You need to be acting in a more masculine way right now. You need to be acting in traditional male roles. And so there's this aspect of it. And what do I mean by that? I mean what we typically call masculine roles, aggression, and that sort of thing. So you need to start picking up on that. The next thing is the Queen of Cups. So maintain your emotions. You need to become very protective of your emotions. So you need to become much more masculine or aggressive or protective. Let's call it the warrior energy instead of sort of masculinity, but that is that to your emotional energy right now. Because right now, your emotional energy feels like it's being sucked off. So it's things people are putting straws into you. And so you got to start, snipping them or making sure some fluid flows back. And the last thing I get, though, is the 10 of coins or 10 of pentacles, which means you're doing a lot of great work right now. You've got plenty of money. You just have to exercise it. Your ability to protect your emotions will bring you the income you're looking for. But right now, your emotions are being sucked away dry. And you need to act in a way to be very protective. You need to put the King of Swords against the Queen of Cups because they're in love with each other, deeply in love with each other. You need to protect it so that you can do the work that you need to do. There you go.
All right. So next up is Magical Mermaid. It's my dad Jeff's 84th birthday today. I would love a reading on how this year will go for him. Please and thank you.
Didn't we just do one? For a father?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, we did. We did this reading.
No, we did it for someone's uncle.
Okay.
And Magical Mermaids
Oh,
remembers
okay.
modems.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and I have an escapee. All right. So the first card I have for your father is the Ten of Cups. So this is the happy family card. On the emotional level, things are going very well for him. He has a loving, supportive family and friends. I'm going to take the Queen of Lamps and my escapee, the 10 of Lamps, and read them together because they are about accomplishing something. The 10 of Lamps says that in order to accomplish your goal, you have to work with others to get it done. The Queen of Lamps says that you're going to have to adapt your ideas within your current situation. You can't change the situation, but you can work within it. And then I pulled the Five of Swords, which suggests that there is some conflict for him to deal with. But if he's working with others, he can work through it. So, your father is a very busy man, isn't he? I hope that is helpful. And
Okay.
have you got something for him, Ed?
So I did my little thing. I gotta show this to you guys next time. But the first thing I got is a Fool. So he should just fuck it. He should tell everybody fuck it. Do what he wants. He's a fool.
All right.
Um, the next one is very interesting. It's a Chariot. You should move. And the last one is the Falling Tower, which I find very interesting. So you got three major arcana. And you're selling fool, move, get out of your house. I'm telling you, this is very clear. There you go.
He,
Move. If he wants his independence, if he wants to live his life as he wants to, move. Walk away.
he is certainly not done yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Next we've got one for Reverend Michael about a homeless person that stops in once in a while. Can I help? Can I trust her? And then Maggie is asked for a reading for her granddaughter.
We also got done asking for a reading. What's the next
Okay.
act in the apocalypse?
We got Sammy asking for a reading and
So yeah.
What's the next act in the apocalypse? All righty, and Corey Judy wants a reading. Okay.
Okay, well, that's a lot on the plate. We got to move up pretty fast. We have to start moving pretty fast because
We do. All right. So Michael's coming up right now.
mm-hmm.
Can he trust the homeless person? Hmm. Well, I've got the Three of Swords here, which indicates to me that things are not as they seem. Coupled with the Empress, which is a caring, nurturing energy, and the Three of Pentacles, which is how someone is known. So I'm going to say these two cards represent you because you always want to take care of people, Michael. But there's something in this situation that there's some conflict or something that's not as it seems. I would be wary in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
What have you got, Ed?
Well, I'm going to answer very quickly. Yes, you can trust them. You can trust them to be who they are. What is their behavior in the past? What is the behavior that has led them to be in this situation? You can expect that unless they are at the bottom and are going to get into professional counseling with professional therapy, you're going to expect them to go back to it. If they have stolen, if they have drank, if they're an addict, then take them at their word that they've done this. You know what I'm saying? And unless you can really handle that abuse of, they're going to tell you, oh yeah, I can stop it, and then they take a drink, or they steal something, or they go on a screaming fit. I'm not sure anything about that, but you must trust people to be themselves, not your projected idea of everybody being good. Period. Their behavior tells you the answer, and you can trust that answer. Can you trust them? Yes. And what do you mean by trust? Will they behave in a predictable way? Trust is, will they act in a predictable way? Just like me and Mary give you readings on Thursday, and we act in a predictable way, right? We're not abusing that, right? Sometimes we miss days and things like that. But if suddenly we came on here and saying, we're going to do gospel prayers and hymns for the show, that would be out of character for us. Hmm? And so then that would show something wrong. Can you handle in that character? But what is within that character? So the answer is yes, you can trust them to be themselves. Is that a person that you want to put in your emotional energy, right, to help? And are you going to get the right type of help instead of projecting your hero complex? Period.
Good advice.
I've dealt with it so many times. And it's important to set your boundaries. All right, we need to get moving because we only have 16 minutes left.
Okay, reading for Maggie's granddaughter.
I'm going to leave that to you because I know so much about Maggie and her granddaughter. I don't want to show privacy. So, Mary, you take it.
Okay. Well, This is interesting. The first card is the Queen of Swords. This card has been representing me in readings for over 20 years. So the Queen of Swords, swords are about communications. When this card comes up, it's talking about looking at the situation and asking what worked in similar situations in the past, what didn't work. Be very careful in your communications. Next, we got the Fluffy again. And I talked about this card earlier, but this is about taking a bad situation and taking that energy and transforming it into something good. So when this card comes up, it also means the person has the ability to change the situation around. Whether or not they think they do, they can change it around. And finally, I've got past. Here we see an older woman looking into a lake or a pond and seeing her reflection as a younger woman. And this card is talking about looking at our life and letting go of what no longer serves us. Whatever is in our situation now that doesn't serve us, we need to let it go. And it could be something that worked for us in the past, but it's not working now. So this is about putting away, could be a relationship, a way of thinking, anything that no longer serves us. It's time to let it go and move on. So I hope that is going to be helpful to your granddaughter, Maggie. Okay, moving on. What do we have here? All right.
The full
And
moon was yesterday.
what?
Oh, somebody was asking about the full moon. Full moon was yesterday. We're in the last day or the tail end of the full moon.
All right. We got Sammy. We got Reverend Don. We got Corey, Judy, and
Okay, you get it. We got four.
we're gonna
We
stop
got.
at Corey, Judy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Sammy wants some direction on her spiritual path.
Okay.
All righty. And Judy, I am glad that the advice I gave you on the cord cutting worked. Okay, so the first card I got for you, Sammy, is the Soul. And here we see the goddess as the mother with her child. And this card is talking about looking at the lessons that are being set out for you right now. There are some sort of life lessons or spiritual lessons right now that you need to learn before you can move forward. And I've got the Princess of Cups again. So, at least one thing you are supposed to be learning is not to hold your emotions in and be willing to state what you're feeling and what you need. And that's something you're going to have to learn how to deal with. And I've got the Ace of Swords. So you've got a decision to make. Either right now or in the very near future, within the next couple of weeks. And the important thing here is to make the decision. Look at your options and make a decision. Don't wait. The worst thing you can do is not make a decision. So, I hope that is helpful. And I see what you said about the Morrigan. So, here's your sword.
So all I'm going to say here is I'm going to just basically back Mary's reading up. I feel that she's very much in tune. Uh, so, do so. But here's the thing about when you make a decision. Do you know what a decision, the word decision means? Most people don't. It's basically Roman source to cut off. Once you make a decision, you change the way the universe works. It's called observation theory, whatever you want, but you have to cut off everything else. You can't worry about, well, what if I chose this or what if I chose that? Just once you make a decision, you just go for it. And if you change your mind and make another decision, you go for that. You can only make decisions. You'll never know what's right or wrong. All you know is what you will go into so that you can make more decisions. And if you can accept that you are a decision-making machine, you'll survive a lot better than being a follower. Because what do AIs need? What is the new world we're coming into? Need decision makers. Can I do this? Can I give permission? Where am I in that chart of being a decision maker? You can be a very good decision maker, one that people will look up to. You've got it, but you've got to get rid of one bad habit. You must get rid of perfection. You must make progress over perfection. You must be willing to accept risk, and sometimes you'll be wrong. What paralyzes you is that you want perfection. And you have to say, take the slings and arrows, so maybe just making progress. All right, we've got 7 minutes.
All right. Reverend Don has asked, what is the next act in the apocalypse?
And then what do we have after him?
Then we have a general reading for Judy.
Well, let's go ahead and do the general reading for Judy.
And finish up with the apocalypse.
Let's go ahead.
All right. General reading for Judy.
See, you guys get better readings if you came earlier. The problem is that you guys don't come on. So some of these people who come on for readings, some of these are regular, some are not. We need to get them coming earlier the readings because once we get started, we go really strong. But it seems like there's a 20, 30, well, Mary's shuffling cards, 20, 30 minute, about 20-minute kick in.
We do. All right. What have we got for Judy tonight? All right. Well, first we've got my card. The Queen of Swords.
Yes, we do.
All right. And I did commission this card from Reverend Don when he ran the Kickstarter for this deck because the Queen of Swords has been representing me for over 20 years. So, when this card comes up, it's about careful communication. It's about looking at what worked for you in the past in similar situations, what didn't. And I'll just throw in, it's about having a bit of an attitude about it because I've got an attitude. Just ask Ed. I've got an attitude.
Oh, yes. Soft marshmallow.
Next card is the Queen of Pentacles. And this is about using your resources wisely. That's the advice with this card. And then we've got the Ace of Pentacles. So a lot of pentacle energy here. So that's what's on your mind, I think. So you have the resources you need in your situation. It's about planning carefully and using them wisely. So I hope that is helpful.
Okay, so I'm looking up here. Boom, it hits. Wow, my second triple of the day. I have to look into that. I wonder if that it is random. Not all things are random. There's no such thing as true randomness. Because everything's based on pi, the infinite number. There's no true randomness, except that pi doesn't ever solve. We're out into 1 trillion places now. The world would change if pi was solvable. And that's where randomization comes from. And so, but here we go. 2 of Cups. First thing you need to do is look at your friendships and make them better. Period. The second 2 is the 2 of Swords. And that means, you're looking at the friends that you've got, you're going through them. Get rid of the ones that you don't want to influence. Remember, you are made up of the top 5 people you communicate with. If you're not choosing to use that time wisely, you are hurting yourself. And the last one I find very interesting, and it follows the earlier reading that we did today, and it's a 2 of Wands, which says explore the world around you, open it up. Treat the day as if it were a new adventure. Accept that the world is good. Have your favorite coffee in the morning. Give yourself 5 minutes more in bed. Or the opposite. Get up 5 minutes early so you can go take a few minutes. Start breathing. These are all the things that are preventing you from the one thing that's not in the reading, which I find very interesting, which is the 2 of Coins, 2 of Pentacles. Right? You're so worried about money that you're not able to take care of these things. But if you're able to take care of your friendships, get rid of the negative elements of your life, people, right? And then, and also, carry yourself looking at the world as a good and wonderful place. Gratitude. My gosh, you'd have more money. So it's that dangerous catch-22. I would be happier if I had more money, but it's not true. But if you had these other things, you would have more money. There it is. And it looks like we ran out of time.
Well, we're still going to answer Don's question.
Are we? We could do it next week. So to answer Casey Judy, well, you should shuffle the cards for an ask. How do you do this? Know this. Basically, we don't know it. We're just asking. We have talents that we've learned over to set the channel of what we're doing. We're creating an interface with the universe that knows everything. The universe knows everything. All time, past, present, future, and all the different levels are across the board. So everything is possible. We don't know how the universe is completely fixed. And I study all the time. It's wild. And so we're just answering the question. When you ask about the question, we answer it. We don't know what we're saying. That's what makes it so much fun.
Yeah, it is. That's what makes it fun. When I read for people, if I'm just doing psychic readings, they ask me a question and then I get the answer.
Mm-hmm.
So, the next act in the apocalypse, I got the Five of Wands.
Wow.
So, we're going to have conflict. We got the King of Wands. And this is about following your passion. The King of Wands rules by following his passion. Finally, magic.
Okay. That's very
So,
interesting.
it's very interesting. So, the only way to, I'm going to say the best way, and maybe the only way to survive or prosper will be for us to use our magic to manifest, or it's time for us to use our magic to manifest the world we want to see.
Hmm. Okay, so I handed dandy to my Jason High Corel tarot meter and see what it's going to give me. Huh. So the
Hey,
first thing
Kaylee.
so the first thing it gives me is the Two of Wands. And that we're looking at the world and we have to look at it through different eyes, through different spiritual paradigms. We're going through time where different types of arguments for reality are sitting side by side. Okay. The reality I believe in is not necessarily the reality that the person next to me sits in. We only share the world we share. That's a deeper meaning of through the tree of life and Kabbalstic that the Two of Wands represent. That we live side by side as one soul, but we can only affect the world around us to know that we're one soul. I can't be Mary. I can have great sympathy. I can have empathy. We can have a great friendship. I can do everything I want to understand Mary. But Mary is Mary. She's one. I'm Ed. And the place that we interact with you tonight is through this amazing system of divination. And we could do a lot more with this but we're side by side, sharing the world. That's the Two of Wands. Isn't that an interesting concept through that sort of tree of life basis? The next thing they've got for me is the falling tower. The tower's falling. We haven't seen the end of the falling tower. And what does that mean? The ideas that we have in place of how the reality works is now being desperately broken apart. So not only do we have these side by side living, I'm living a different reality, different parts, different ideas. But now the reality as we see it and share it is also breaking apart in layers. So we're having vertical and horizontal crosses of reality thoughts. What I mean, the different medias are sharing different stories. We're storytelling beings, and this tells me our story, The Fallen Tower, is beginning to talk about. And we love a good disaster movie, don't we? We love a good horror show, don't we? So yeah. Okay, and so the next card, which is interesting. So it has, like you, the magician. So it's the number one arcana card, the magician. And it's telling me that the thing that we can do is that we have to decide what realities we want to play with. What is it that we want to do? How are we going to resource our reality? We might be facing a time, and I'm going to say it. This is one of the things that people don't know. Let me go ahead and say this. We might be seeding new realities that are derived from this. The way we live, the way we have a culture, our civilization, how our grandchildren are going to be, the 300-year journey we're on. I do believe we're on the golden path. How are we going to survive all of that? We're beginning to create seed realities that will eventually come in to take over parts of culture. But yeah, we're about to have the burning of the libraries. Oh, yeah. So the argument comes in. People say it's beyond. So our reading is saying it's magic. We're going to go ahead with magic. You can talk about spiritual, but the same thing's on the other side. Oh, Jesus is going to return. The single heresy that we can put out there is, well, the number two heresy is Jesus is never coming back. The number one, we believe in reincarnation. So I'm going to grab this last card. What is it there? All right. And what it's going to give me? That's a good one. It's showing me two things. It's showing me the Six of Swords, which is the boat, to make the passage. We can make the passage over. On the other side of it is the Four of Cups. Our families can make it. We just have to accept the tower's falling, reality is changing, and we have to use our thought, our community, our assets, our whatever you want to call it, our ability to create attention, will, spirit. You call it anything you want, cheer, whatever, to find a bridge, to find a boat over this, and we can have a good family. But it is at the family level that we can save ourselves. Fuck everything else. Go to ground. Family level, tribe level, local level.
All right.
And that means going to Nashville next year for the Corellian lustration. I think it's going to be extremely important. We show our energy there to protect Mary. I think it's very important. When I was asking about the gods, I don't know, this week, I was talking about gods, what type of gods are American gods, what we have. And somebody pointed out that we have Athena right there. And
That
not,
is why our shrine, our temple goddess is Athena.
mm-hmm,
Who else would we have chosen?
right. And she's not only Athena, but she's Pax Athena, the guardian. So I think that's very fascinating. So Nashville next year, what is it, April 15th, 16th, 17th?
16th, 17th, and 18th.
So now we're going to have a great opportunity to interact with this entity. I think, more than anything else, this entity, Athena and others, that will be the dominant energy. And it's going to be interesting because this will be new history. There isn't a lot of connection between Nashville and the Corellians of Danville. This is where we're going to establish that, I think. I mean, some other places of the country, we have this sort of connection. But I don't think much of, there's not been much other than yourselves. I mean, there's a presence there. Lots of students, lots of people. But we've never really seen the Nashville community through Corellian ice, through the system that we have called illustration. I think that's going to be amazing. It's going to be very different.
Yeah.
And we have to get as many Corellians drinking on the bike as possible.
Yes.
Don't know what that means? Find out. Sign up. What do you think? Get as many
Yes.
Australians on the bike and drinking? Oh, that'd be so much of a blast. Unique experience in Nashville.
And Judy, I can't wait for you to be able to come to Tennessee. We will definitely meet up. So, yes, Corellians, please come to Lustration in Nashville this year.
Okay, not Corellians. It's a lot of fun.
Yes. And I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. And I'll be back next week, same time. And Ed, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Have a wonderful evening,